Hello, my name's Deb Moore and I'm an artist based in the Illawarra area. Over the years, I've tried a multitude of mediums, but the one that stuck with me the most is gel printing. And I'm a member of many social media groups, and I often see the question, how do I organise my workspace? So I thought it might be a nice idea to invite you into my home and check out my workspace, and maybe you'll get some organising ideas from me. Stay tuned for the paper organising because that's one of my favourites. It's actually bordering on genius. All right, here we go. This is my little station, and as you can see, it's a desk and a chair, quite simple, and it's parked next to my beverage station because I do like a good cup of tea and coffee. On the top of the desk, I have my gel plate, of course. It is sitting on a chopping board, and the table covering is a party tablecloth, basically. Okay, so I've got everything handy. Got some brushes in here. Yep, I do like coffee. And my favourite stamp lives there because I love using it. And I've had to invest a whole $2 each at the thrift store for this little organiser because I like to use the hairdryer when drying my work. And whenever I sat anything at the back of the table, I'd put the hairdryer on and it would go flying off the table. And then I'd have to go crawling underneath the table, which I'm absolutely not a fan of at age 50-something. This is my little roll-off section here. It's actually, if anyone's invested, or I shouldn't say invested, but if anyone was unlucky enough to buy a cheap gel plate at the very beginning of their printing journey, this is what I have also done. This is not a gel plate, it's a piece of rubber. Not even a good piece of rubber because you absolutely cannot get the paint off. It's a shocker. So just keep in mind, if you have bought a non-brand plate, this is what can happen. If I try to peel, my paper will stick to it pretty quickly. But what I am doing is I'll put my roll-off paper here, and it's quite useful for that one very purpose. So up here I have my paper toweling, my baby wipes. I've got a circle cutter because I like to make circles sometimes and use them for printing and masking. I have a bunch of stencils that are also sitting here, and I quite like that they can be on a ring, so it's easier to find. I have my masking tape. I'll be lost without that. A bit of gel medium is sitting there, and this is my burnishing tool, and it is the lid from a moisturising container. Yep, I am that stingy. Okay. I like to be able to sit on my chair and move around without having to get up as much as possible, especially when you have paint on your gel plate and you want to be working quickly. You don't want to be sort of fumbling around for what you need. So I've got my paper handy. This is a ream of 250 sheets of copy paper, which is 200 GSM. I've got a 120 GSM here, and I've got the normal copy paper, which is 80, and I use that a lot for the roll-off paper. It doesn't go to waste though because I end up collaging with it. I do have a few gel plates because I'm a little bit obsessed. So down here, I've got my 11 by 14 and I keep it in this case, which keeps it nice. I bought that case off Amazon for, I think, $20, and it came from Japan. I've got some more little gel plates here. These are shapes. And inside, okay, so here I have, I get the paper out of the way, a couple of circles, triangle, a square and a rectangle, all fit in this cool little case. Now this case I actually got again from a thrift store many years ago, and it had a set of rubber stamps in there, and it was all themed. So, you know, things like birthdays, Father's Days, weddings, all of that kind of thing. And I bought a few of these. It turns out now that these cases are super handy to be able to keep plates in. You get these sheets with the gel plates, and I've just slipped it in I haven't even had to cut it, so how perfect is that? And this one here, I keep my 9 by 12 inch in, which is the one on the table. And this one here, I keep my 8 by 10. And this little case here. And these cases I got at Kmart. I've just got bits of stencils and things in there. Okay. While I'm sitting at the table, I can sort of swing around and open the drawers here. So I've got these drawers that I find really handy, and they have all of my colours in. So this drawer here is the reds, yellows, oranges. Next one down is the whites, blacks, browns, beige, and gel mediums. And here I get the more heavy-bodied paints. So I've got the Liquitex, Atelier, and this Mataro, which I've just discovered and I really like. And also some golds and bronzes in there. And the next one down is my blues and greens. And the next one down are my pinks and purples. So I really, oh, squeak. I really love having them in their colours. And below that, I have a little bit more paper and also a drawer with magazines. So, of course, the good old magazine transfers that everybody seems to love and hate at the same time. Love it when it works out, but hate the torment that you can go through trying to get that result. Underneath my desk, going under, we have this little crate here. And what I have is a bunch of these envelopes, which I think I got from the reject shop for a couple of dollars. And I've got my collage pieces in colour coordinated envelopes. And this one here is a bunch of origami that I've done. So you can see there's still some unused and some that have been used, but some of the ones that I have already printed with, I can reuse them again, or I can actually put them on a collage and they can look really fun. Okay, and going further underneath, I have pan pastels, and this little groovy dude here, I have to show you. You know, because that's sharp, I'm going to get my gel plate out of the way. Okay, so this is my travel kit. I like it that it opens all the way out. I've got a bunch of little paints in here. Little paints, tiny paints. This one is a 5x7 gel plate. So again, that's one of those cases that I showed you earlier. And here's another case, and it's got upside down printing tools. So we've got the printing tools there. And it's got a little roller and what have you inside. There's all kinds of little things. So I can actually take it on the road. If I want to go to work and take my little printing kit and do some at work, I can. And you're probably thinking, what boss is going to allow that? Well, me. I work for myself. All right. So here I have my trusty hairdryer. Let's have a look in this box here. All right. What I've got here is I've got my big sketch pads that I like to pull sheets out. It's quite funny because it says that it's good for pastels, charcoal and pencils, but of course I use acrylic paints with it. But I really love the finish. I love the way it prints on gel plate. And it's acid free, so that's a bonus. And that's a Montmartre sketch pads, A3 size, which I quite like. All right. I have a big A3 book that I keep my prints in. So you might have seen some of these on the videos that I've done. There we go. Some of these are going to end up in an exhibition in October this year at the Project Gallery. Some may not. Need the baby glues. Okay, the one I've done recently. That one goes that way. It's painted the lady. All right, and I also have a bunch of these books, which you find them everywhere, and you'll often get them for $1 or 50 cents at the local thrift stores. And they're really good just for keeping all your prints in. That I'm going to add flowers to. So yeah, just all your little fun bits and pieces that you've done. You can just keep them all in. That's probably going to be part of some kind of collage, or use it for the back of a masked thing. Little octopuses. These are some collages, and you can see I've used some origami in these. A little bit, might be hard to see behind the plastic, but you get the idea. And so on and so on. Okay, and just over here, it's not as tidy, but whatever. I've got a box filled with rubber stamps, and I've got other things that I use as stamps. So that's a placemat, and I've used that. I've got paintbrushes up here. Hello plant. Another thing I want to share is you can see that my desk is sitting directly under a very big open window. It's such a blessing because not only do I get this beautiful natural light come in, so I don't have to worry about lighting for the most part, especially in summer when we have daylight savings here, and it's daylight savings in Australia at the moment. It gets a little bit more tricky in the winter because obviously the day lengths are shorter, and so I'll have to factor in electric light. But this window is great, and especially because I get a lot of bird visitors. They're often out here having a good time, grabbing some food, water, sometimes chasing each other around, and it's just a real pleasure to watch. So you will often hear birds chirping in the background of my video, but that's okay. I don't mind those little visitors. And I'll show you an example. Well, hello. Okay. The last thing probably for me to show you is the paper storage, the rolly paper storage. Now, I was originally born in the UK, so I'm a little bit drawn to things from the UK. So years ago, I bought this wine rack because it's an old phone box, which I really love, but I don't have any wine to put in it. So what I've done is the paper that I need to roll up, I put in the phone box. Is that clever, or is that clever? So next time you're at a op shop, thrift store, maybe consider looking at the wine racks for paper storage. It might serve you well. Oh, one more thing. I'll just show you this arm that I use for filming in case you do want to, or if you're looking for some kind of filming solution. This is actually an arm from a mic stand. It came out of a podcasting mic stand kit thingo, and I have extra, so I thought, oh, how can I use that? And so it clips to the table, and I sit my phone on here, and it lowers, and all of that twists up and down, and I can sit my phone on top, and it's quite sturdy, and that's what I use to film. I hope that was helpful. If you are at the beginning of your gel printing journey or in the middle of it and trying to get organised, I really hope that helped you out. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you, and bye for now.